So I was speaking to a coaching client yesterday, and initially he reached out to me because his relationship had become depolarized. His woman was not interested in making love to him anymore, and the intimacy just wasn't really flowing. They love each other, the relationship is good in other ways, but there is just this lack of attraction. Basically, the bedroom was dead. The reason I want to share this today, and I want to talk about some of the coaching and advice that I gave him in this situation, is because it's an extremely common problem that I see a lot of men struggling with, and it's something that I definitely struggled with in the past as well. In fact, in my relationship, we even had a period of about 12 months where we didn't make love. We barely made love at all. And so I've been through this process, and I've managed to navigate rebuilding the fire, the passion, the juiciness in my relationship, where it's got to a point now where we're actually having the best sex we've ever had. And when I looked at this man's life and I got him to tell me about how things are between him and his partner, and he said basically he gave up everything in order to pursue her. He even moved countries across the world to be with her, and his number one ambition was to have a relationship, a beautiful relationship, and have a family. And that was the problem. I said, right there, we've already got a major problem, because if a man's life revolves entirely around his relationship and around the family, and he doesn't have anything else going on, then we're already setting up a kind of shonky foundation that is inevitably going to erode the polarization, the attraction between you and your partner. And I said to him, a woman doesn't want to be with a man who sets her on this pedestal and basically makes his entire purpose for existing about her. It's actually a huge pressure, a huge burden for a woman to carry that kind of responsibility. Of course, maybe in the beginning it's cute, it sounds nice, there's a certain romantic flair in that sense, to be so devotional and so so drawn in by someone. But as time progresses, it starts to become more of a burden. It becomes more of a weight on the relationship that actually ends up eating away at the respect. Because how can a woman respect a man who has nothing else going on for him? A woman wants to feel like she's with a man who has a mission, who has a purpose, he has a direction in life, and he's actually going out there and getting shit done. And I said to him, we've got to actually think forward. Like, let's project forwards to the moment of your death. Imagine you're looking back on your life, ready to pass beyond that threshold. What would it take for you to die well? What would you want to have achieved? What can you see around you in terms of friends, family, the meaning that you've created in your life? What does that look like? And so we started to contemplate this and look back, and he recognized that he had no clue. No idea. This question was difficult, very difficult for him to answer. And I totally get it, because it was difficult for me to answer the first time as well. When I got asked for the first time, like, what do you want to die for? Difficult. I'd never really sat down and contemplated it. And the beauty of that is that if you don't know, that's okay. It's okay not to know. Because from that position of not knowing, then we can actually start getting curious. Then we can start asking the question. We sit with the question. And then we can start to ask ourselves, how might we know? How can we find out? Actually, what is meaningful to me? What is most important to me? What actually leaves me feeling deeply satisfied? And this I could see it like lit a fire inside his eyes. And he was like, wow, like I never thought of it like that. I always just thought that I wanted to have a relationship. I wanted to create a family. And that was kind of it. And then he sort of thought back to this moment in his childhood where he remembered that his whole aspiration was about like falling in love. He just wanted to fall in love. He saw his parents' marriage. He saw their wedding. He just wanted to follow in their footsteps and create that kind of relationship. Beautiful, beautiful aspiration to have. except that it's not enough. It's not enough. Maybe for some people it is enough, but I think if you as a man have a deeper search, if you have a curious mind, if you have ambition and aspiration to discover, what all of this is, what is the mystery behind everything that you see? Do you understand it? Do you want to discover it? And if there is that inner search inside of you and that burning aspiration, I think we're destined for more than just to eat and fuck and reproduce and kind of just coast through life. There's so much more available to us. And I think that's what a woman wants to feel when she's with you. She wants to feel that your life means something, that you have this hunger, this aspiration, this you're on a mission, and that you're on some sort of quest for deeper understanding, deeper meaning and significance. And that's sexy. It's sexy for a woman to see that she's with a man who is going somewhere interesting, and she gets to jump on that train with you and come along for the ride. And okay, she's got her own train. Like, hopefully she does, because if she doesn't, then it's going to be a burden in the opposite direction. Nobody wants to be with someone who's not going anywhere and doesn't have any balance, any depth to their life. And I look on my life and see that so many of the problems that I faced in my relationship, especially in the beginning, because I didn't have my shit figured out. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know where I wanted to go. Didn't know what I stood for. I didn't have those principles yet built and sort of like structured within my psyche. And of course my woman wasn't lit up by that. Of course she didn't want to jump into bed with me. Of course she didn't want to surrender herself to me, because she couldn't trust me. Where's the solidity? Where's the depth? Where's the consistency to a man that doesn't have anything going on in his life? And that's why, especially on the podcast, I talk a lot about like building your foundations, taking care of survival, making sure you have a source of income, creating safety around you, creating solidity, creating structure in your life. Because from those foundations, then we can start to build higher levels. Then we can start to quest for, what's your purpose? Then we can look forward to the moment of your death and see like what's going to enable you to die well. And then once you have that vision formed, then we can reverse engineer that. And I said to him, like, you don't go and build a house without having an architect draw up the plans for the house. Because if you do, you're going to get a really shit house. The angles are going to be wrong. The stuff's not going to match up. And it's not going to be a pleasant place to live if it gets built at all. And so we need a plan. We need a plan if we're going to build a house. And it's the same for life. We need a map. We need a vision. We need a direction. We need a plan that we're going to follow. Otherwise, we're just going to wander through life haphazardly, and we're going to get what we're given. We're going to get the default that society gives us, which is, to be honest, pretty mediocre. But if we get creative, if we mine ourselves for information, if we do this inner deep sort of dredging process of like bringing all this stuff up to the surface and understanding ourselves in a very deep way, and actually spending time contemplating what we want to achieve, what's possible, and raising our sights and seeing further ahead, that's leadership. That's what it takes to lead. The leader is the one that sees the furthest. The visionary is the one that sees deep into the future and plans accordingly. That vision informs the present. And I think that is what is missing in so many men today. And it's that quality that or the lack of that quality that just kills relationships. It kills the spark. It kills the desire. Because why wouldn't it? And from my experience, my relationship has transformed enormously since I got my shit together. My woman looks at me differently. She responds to me differently. She's chasing after me because she sees that I'm going somewhere. Our intimacy, our lovemaking, our passion, our romance has deepened immeasurably because I have deepened the relationship with myself. So if you're a man out there who is struggling with this, I hope this lands somewhere in you. And if you don't know the answers to these questions yet, that's okay. But at least you're at the point where you can start to quest for that understanding. Because before we know anything, first we have to admit that we don't know something. And from there, the genuine search can start. And that's an exciting place to be. If you're on the precipice of that search, it's amazing. Because what you're going to discover is going to completely change your life, as it has done mine. And I've seen it happen again and again and again with men who pick up this torch, who commit to this work, and who quest for a deep experience of life. So if that resonates with you, let me know in the comments below, and come and check out the podcast. I think I'll leave this one here. I think that's enough for today. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.